Now, this week has definitely been a very eventful week in the world of basketball. Bronny James, we just got an update on his entire condition, and he'll be able to continue playing in the game of basketball. Lonzo Ball has a crazy beef with Stephen A. Smith and Michael Jordan and Larsa Pippen. Michael Jordan's son and Larsa Pippen just made a huge announcement that got Michael Jordan super mad. Now, we have to take a look at this. Number one, we see Anthony Edwards is calling out Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr, Golden State Warriors coach, and is also coaching this Team USA, or at least helping out. And he said this. Now, he was not cool coming off the bench. Of course, Team USA is currently in session. They're playing, they're training. A ton of videos have been going on around. And he said this, he wasn't cool coming off the bench. He said Dwayne Wade came off the bench when Kobe played. I was like, we don't have a Kobe. And man, it's so funny that Anthony Edwards is one of these dudes who always speaks his mind regardless of the situation. Bro is going to tell you what's up, whatever it is, whatever's going on. He's not afraid to put out his opinion. And Anthony Edwards is a bucket, man. So low-key, I think this is funny that he really is not afraid. Now, he was even calling out one of his players while he was playing here, Jaren Jackson, while they were in a practice. And if you see here, basically, he's calling him out, telling him if he's the defensive player of the year, you got to jump with me, try to block the shot because he didn't go and play defense. As funny to see. But next, we have James Harden. And of course, James Harden, one of these guys in the NBA, playing currently, well, technically on the 76ers. Now, back in the day, this recent tweet went viral, basically saying that James Harden was the reason that this coach got fired. Now, Kevin McHale calls out James Harden for being fat and getting him fired after benching him in the 2015 playoffs. The next year he came to camp, he was fat and didn't feel like playing, and I got fired 11 games into the season. He had a plan. Now, it's crazy to think that this coach is actually saying James Harden strategically did this to get him fired. We all know James Harden loves his pizza rolls, but man, that is insane if that is true. Now, in another article that was put out, James Harden was actually fined for $100K. Now, yes, a lot of people have been rumoring that he might not even play in the NBA this season, and here's why. James Harden has had a ton of beef with the 76ers currently right now, and he actually said that he would not play for them, which, of course, if he signed a contract and said that he was playing, the NBA went ahead and fined him $100K, which, of course, is not much for James Harden, but at the end of the day, it is still something. Now, the league's investigation, which includes an interview of Harden, confirmed that these comments reference Harden's beliefs that the 76ers would not accommodate his request to be traded. Now, that's insane as well. And he said this about someone, Daryl Morey, who's part of the organization. Let me say this again. Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be part of an organization that he's part of. Now, man, clearly he's probably not going to play for this team. I mean, if you're talking like this, he is not a fan, and it's going to be crazy to see how this situation does get resolved. But, man, James Harden is already getting fined. Do you think he's right about this situation? Now, he even went further with this, and, of course, on Twitter, this was going viral, saying that, of course, if he's not going to play for the 76ers, he's going to go to China. Now, James Harden had expressed a desire, saying, every time I come here, the love is just like, it's crazy, you know what I mean? So I feel like they deserve to actually see me come play here. Love is always crazy. Now, low-key, I think bro might be trolling a little bit. I doubt he's going to go play in China. But at the end of the day, it's wild that he's trolling the NBA like this, saying he's going to go play, because clearly he is not going to move forward with the 76ers at all. Now next, Zion Williamson. We have some new news on Zion. We just got this crazy tweet about Zion and his body transformation. People are insanely hyped to see how he's been moving. I mean, you take a look at this here. You see Zion is looking crazy. He's looking pretty shredded. I mean, you see his muscles are popping out there. And it's definitely wild. I feel like every time, or at least Zion has a lot. We got to remember, he's in a beef with, you know what, another adult entertainer who was calling him out. So Zion has plenty of motivation, all the motivation he needs to be a monster this season and stay healthy. And I think clearly he's just been doing that very well. I mean, you see he's grinding here. And even look at this picture, man. Zion Williamson, 2040 Fox Sports analyst. Man, we can't forget that, because yes, he put on a lot of muscle, but I feel like players are always hyped in the preseason. They have these insane transformations, and then once the season starts, it's another story. But shout out Zion for getting in shape. Now we have to get into this Lonzo Ball and Stephen A. Smith beef. This is insane. Now I have to go back to the original quote here because, of course, man, I'm going to be honest, I was kind of shocked. Now, Stephen A. Smith went on the internet and basically said that he doesn't think, and we see the quote right here, I don't think he'll ever be the same based off of what we are seeing and hearing and reading about of course, he's talking about Lonzo Ball in this situation. I've heard that it's even hard for him to get up from the sitting position. I'm really sad for him, and I hope that he is blessed enough to get his health back. Now, right, based off this, and Stephen A is a credible source, we're all thinking that basically Lonzo Ball is probably done. A lot of people have been rumoring his career is going to be over, right? That's what everyone is thinking. Now, Lonzo actually went on Twitter and posted this video.
Who are your sources, bro? Please.
Now, he's basically saying, who are Stephen A's sources? You can see here, he's moving very easily. He's getting up and down, right? And it's looking like Lonzo Ball is doing good. He's doing well. He seems like he's moving pretty smoothly. So how could Stephen A have information like this? Now, Stephen A actually fired back at this. We see the original tweet from Zoe there. Stephen A fired back and said, you really going to sit poolside on the bench and think because you're getting up and sitting down, that makes you healthy? Bro, you ain't healthy. And Stephen A has a point here. Of course, just because you're getting up and moving around does not mean that you can play on a basketball court. But it's wild to think, I mean, this was, again, clearly misinformation, or at least maybe the sources were not 100% accurate, because at least it looks like Lonzo is doing somewhat moving. But I guess we'll just have to see if he ever does come back and make really a comeback to the NBA. Now, next, we have Adam Silver getting called out by NBA employees. Now, this was wild. I'm not going to lie. Adam Silver, of course, NBA, part of the NBA, and someone actually went on the NBA Twitter and posted this. Now, let's take a look at this picture here. I got to be honest, this was wild to me. Now, they said, how do I log out of this? Haven't worked here in weeks. Anyway, the NBA overextends its social media employees greatly to the detriment of their health and social lives for a salary of less than $50K annually after taxes. I worked 14-hour shifts without breaks at times. That's insane. Shout out Adam Silver. We don't get health insurance until 90 days on the job. That's silly, isn't it? Glad I resigned. No need for a job to get in the way of your happiness. Donate to mental health causes. Man, we really don't see Adam Silver get basically get called out like this, especially from one of the employees. So clearly, man, the NBA, from what it seems here, is really overworking a lot of people in the organization and maybe somewhat underpaying them based on the value that they're providing. So it's wild to see. This is coming out of left field, and especially that it's on the Twitter, man. NBA, you got to do better, treat these people correctly. Now, next, we have Trump. Of course, the president of the United States was lying about his weight. Now, if you see here, a lot of people have been talking about this. This has been going viral. Basically, Trump listed that he was 6'3", 215 pounds after he did get arrested. A lot of you guys know he did get arrested. And people were comparing to other NBA players. And you have Lou Dort here, who is 6'4", 220. And basically what Trump is saying, he's built like an NBA player, which, man, a lot of people are not buying it. I'm calling cap. Something is not adding up. Now we have an update on the Bronny James situation. A lot of you guys were waiting for this. Bronny James, what's going on with his heart? Is he going to be able to make a full recovery? Now, Bronny James' sudden cardiac arrest on July 24th has been identified as a congenital heart defect per James' family spokesperson. The family is very confident in Bronny James' full recovery and return to basketball in the very near future. Now, let's clap it up, man. That is great for Bronny. It looks like he's going to make a recovery. And it's good because a lot of people were wondering and curious, would Bronny ever be able to make a full recovery and a comeback from this situation? But from the reports that everyone is stating and from the James family spokesperson, Bronny is going to make a comeback. Shout out to Bronny, man. Get well, get healthy. We are waiting for you. Now, Cooper Flagg, the #1 player in the class of 2024 and even the #1 player in high school basketball, is up and plans to make a visit to Duke, Kansas, and UConn. Now, that's big. Cooper Flagg is a dog. He's a bucket. Best player in high school basketball. A lot of people are calling him. Is very tall, athletic, can shoot the ball. And I think it's great to see that he's taking these visits. Where do you think he's going to go? Let me know in the comments. Now, next, we have to get into the MJ and Larsa Pippen situation, man. This is crazy. I'm not going to lie. Now, you have MJ, of course, man. You guys know MJ's son has been into a situation with Scottie Pippen's ex-wife, who basically, man, Larsa Pippen, she goes around, she definitely gets with a lot of high-status individuals, basketball players, all that, and is clearly now trying to settle down with Jordan's wife, who of course is Scottie Pippen's old teammate, and the two even have beef together. Now, they actually brought this to the internet, which this is crazy, and said that they are planning on a wedding. Now, how many of you think Michael Jordan is going to pull up to the wedding? We all know he's not. I don't even know if he's going to get invited at this point, but this is just insane. I thought this situation would maybe just the two, having a little relationship, but now they are getting married. Man, how many of you guys think this is actually going to happen? Let me know in the comments down below. But next, we got to get on to Dior Johnson, top player in high school basketball. Many of you remember him. Bro is solid. He was actually at Pittsburgh playing basketball. Many people know he is known for transferring to a ton of different schools. Played at Oak Hill, played with Josh Christopher in high school, played everywhere, IMG at one point, and now he is leaving Pittsburgh. And this tweet came out saying, Pittsburgh, all right, well, let's see here. Pittsburgh sends out statement that Dior Johnson is no longer attending the school. Now, in the past, there was an incident where Dior was kicked off campus after a domestic violence incident, but he was able to come back to the team and basically play. Now, in this case, there's really not so much information, but it's wild to see once again, a dude that transferred to a ton of different schools is now officially leaving this Pittsburgh program. It seemed like he was going to play with them this season. I mean, there were a lot of videos, a lot of media going out, but it's official. He is leaving. I can't say I'm surprised because he transferred so much, but wow, man, that's tough. Now, lastly, we got to talk about Noah Farrakhan. Noah Farrakhan is Amani Bates' old teammate on Eastern Michigan. Now, if we take a look here, we see what happened. We see that Noah Farrakhan is leaving. Yes, he is leaving Eastern Michigan and going to West Virginia. Now, I personally don't think this was a huge deal because, of course, man, if Amani Bates is not there playing with you, pause. If you go to Eastern Michigan, man, there are not that many hoopers like that there. Noah Farrakhan had to take his opportunity to try to go to a better school to make the NBA, and that's what he's doing. Shout out to Noah Farrakhan for leaving, man, and hopefully he can make the league. Very tough player in college basketball. Now, man, we got this last one here. We got to watch this. We got the ones. Ones are serious. You got Kyan Anthony playing Melo in 1v1. And this was nice, man. I mean, to see the two play against each other, you see it. Boom. I mean, you see them hooping against each other. It's fire to see father and son be able to play against each other like this. And I got to be honest, Kyan is looking very talented here. You see that he's hooping. Look at that shot, knocked down. I mean, it's fire to see that the two are playing together and really could train against each other. Shout out to Kyan. He is definitely one of the better players in the country, has been showing out. And this is this week's news for basketball. If you guys do like these videos, enjoy them, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit this next video on the screen because you won't want to miss it. And subscribe to the channel because if you want to stay up to date on all the latest basketball news and what happened last week.